Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Shooting the Shit with Yankee. As always, I'm Yankee, so let's start shooting. Today, I want to know what you think are some of the most common mistakes made by first-time carriers. They might be little mistakes, they might be big mistakes, they might be mistakes that make it to where the person ends up not carrying. You know, you do something really wrong at the beginning, you might say, this is just too much trouble, too much work, I ain't going to do it. And we don't want people doing that. So I would like people to avoid the most common mistakes if they can. So we're going to talk about them today. And if you're starting your carry journey, I have a 21-year-old son who's starting his carry journey as we speak. He's wearing his gun around the house right now. So I want to talk about this. So like I said, maybe, just maybe, people can avoid those mistakes and be more likely to continue on their carry journey. I will start us off. I think one of the biggest mistakes people make when it comes to being a first-time carrier, I'm not saying the biggest, but I'm saying one of the biggest that leads to them not carrying, is they think they got to listen to the Tacticool, operators online. They got to carry a big high-capacity gun and they got to shove it down the front of their pants in a holster. And a lot of times they try that off the bat. They feel very uncomfortable emotionally with the gun where it is, mentally with the gun where it is, and physically because it's a big old gun shoved in the front of their pants. And a lot of you out there ain't used to that. So that's one of the biggest mistakes I see people make. They try to do what they see the Tacticool, the Tactitards, I should say, doing online that really has very little relevance to what most people should do or what most people need, and they just can't make it work, and then they end up not carrying it all. That gun ends up in their nightstand or their glove box. It just doesn't end up where it's supposed to be. And that's one of the biggest mistakes I think new carriers make. Don't try to be all Tacticool right off the bat. Be comfortable, carry the right gun that you can handle, take necessary precautions to cover it, but don't go crazy and let yourself get used to it. So that's what I have to say. So let's go over here and see what other people have to add. See if they need to add anything to what I said or something totally different or what. A nominal snowman weighed in and says, is Villy Vallo, I don't know what that means, not the most beautiful man to ever exist, ever will exist, peak male perfection? I don't know what that has to do with anything. No homo, of course, and such. I have no idea who that is. And plus, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. So a nominal snowman is out in left field somewhere doing something today. I don't know what he's doing. Sean Bain says, wrong belt. Doesn't support holster or firearm. Yes, that's a common mistake. I see people just try to use regular everyday leather belts that they had, that they bought at Walmart. And it doesn't hold the gun properly. It flops around. It's just uncomfortable. And they, really makes it hard for them to carry properly. And sometimes it discourages them from continuing to carry. So always get yourself a good belt. I made sure my son had a good trackline belt to carry with. So he's starting off with a good holster and a good belt. Tim Allen used his 26-month WAP chat that says messing with their carry gun because they think everyone is noticing it. Spoiler, most people don't care. That's true. People do keep fiddling with their gun on their hip all the time because they think people are seeing it. So they're moving it around because they're like, oh, it's not in the absolute optimal position. Someone might notice it. And that's just not the case. Most people don't notice because they could care less about you. Everybody's so wrapped up in their own lives that they really don't pay much attention. People don't notice I'm carrying, and I even carry shirts that are very interesting to say, but it draws all their interest to the shirt and what's on it, and they just totally ignore the little printing on my hip. Edgar Cortez weighed in and says, worrying about printing and carrying too small a gun and not using a good holster. Well, that's not one thing. That's lots of things, but those are all things. Although carrying too small a gun, I don't think leads to people not carrying. I just think it leads to them not carrying a better gun. But a bad holster is really a negative thing. You should have a good holster made for the gun if you can. Not one of those Uncle Mike's things. If you get one of them Uncle Mike's things with a belt clip on it, Make sure it straps on the top, because if it's still be flopping around, at least it won't fall out. It's got a snap or something, some active retention. Let's see here. Where am I at? Boss Hug said, carrying a gun that is too big to comfortably carry. Yes, I see that happen all the time. Like I said, they think they got to carry, it's got 22 rounds and blah, 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 and I got to carry 6 magazines for it. I see people do that all the time. I'm wondering if some people are going to hit on some of the ones I'm thinking of that doesn't seem like anybody's hitting on yet. Something to do with that. It's got very much to do with carrying too big a gun. It's very similar to that, but a little different. Officer Tater Hater said a huge mistake is talking to the popo. Yeah, don't talk to the popo. I know you think that they're, hey, if I'll tell the truth and I didn't do nothing wrong, they're here to help me. No, they are not. They are there to try to put you in jail. That's their goal. So you give them any reason, that's what they'll try to do. They'll twist your words. They'll misrepresent what you say. They'll treat you like a criminal. Don't talk to the popo. Bunker in Texas says, buying a cheap holster. Yes, cheap holsters, especially ones that just flop around. I mean, the ones that got like that little metal clip on the back of them, and they're just like a nylon holster. Yeah, those are really bad ideas. I've carried a nylon holster before, and I realized real fast it wasn't worth it, because my Glock popped out of my holster as I was running across the street and slid under a car at a stoplight. I had to fish it out from underneath of it. Talk about embarrassing. Dan, oh yeah, that was Bunker in Texas. I read before. I keep seeing his icon, and it's him with a kid on his shoulders, and I keep thinking it's Jar Jar Binks. That's how good my vision is. Dan S says, buying a striker fired gun causing anxiety of ND. Yeah, striker fireds, I just don't like them. They scare me. Some people love them. I don't. Some people do. Not me. Some people are very comfortable with them. I ain't. I got no qualms about saying that. It makes me seem very untactical, I guess, but I got no problem saying it. Looks like we're down to a couple of people here. Mr. Furley said, cheap holsters, Glock appendix carry. I think appendix carry is a big mistake. Even if they get used to it, it's still a big mistake. It's not a way you should carry. But, I think it's a huge mistake. And cheap holsters, yeah, we've covered that already. I can't believe somebody's not mentioning one of the things I'm thinking of. Mikey D says, if they find your car day 29, will you shit a brick? Yes, I will. Like I said, you'll come on here and I'll be bawling my eyes out. I'll be ruined. Well, there's no way I could sell it. Some people are like, well, just turn around and sell it. I could not sell it for what it's insured for, because I have those supplemental policies, my umbrella policy and stuff, to where it's insured for the MSRP plus any dealer installed add-ons that are permanent parts of the car, meaning you have to have a tool to take them off. I met with my insurance guy yesterday to make sure everything. So getting all my ducks in a row yesterday to get that car. But okay, one more person weighing in, and then we're done for the day. And it is Ghost Shadow. Ghost Shadow said, had Snowflake freak out when they saw my Leatherman, didn't notice the 1911 in a shoulder holster. That can definitely happen. That doesn't really have to do with the topic, but he's just mentioning people not paying attention to your gun. He also added in here that big mistake is holster that isn't secure, that someone can take it or can fall out of. Yeah, like I said, I had a gun fall out of a holster, and it was not fun. I am typing something down, so if I don't forget it. But that looks like that's going to be it for us today. Thanks everybody for weighing in. One of the things I was thinking that no one said was that people try to carry too much. they think they got to carry three extra magazines, and they think they got to, I got to have a first aid kit if I'm going to carry a gun. Some people say that if you're going to carry a gun, you better have a first aid kit. So they end up with this like a battle belt just to go about their daily life. I had to talk to my son about that just last night. I had to be like, you don't need all these things. You just need your gun. You need a holster for your gun. If you want an extra magazine, just get one of those belt. I got pocket clips, the magnetic pocket clips. You just pull them right out of, put one of them in your pocket. That'll be fine. Because he got a belt mag holder, and he said it rubs him because it holds the magazine so high. I'm like, you don't just get one of the belt clips. I'll give you one of them. You stick it in your pocket. Or buy a revolver and just carry speed strips would be a better idea. But he's making the adjustments right now to try to be comfortable. He's carrying it around the house, learning how it feels. Right now, he's carrying it without one in the chamber because he's not comfortable with one in the chamber yet. So we'll see how it works out. But that's it for us today. I hope some people maybe learned something. When choosing your carry gun, make sure it's a gun you'll carry. Don't try to do anything crazy with it, like the tactitards tell you need to. Don't carry too much stuff. Don't think you got to be an expert carry right off the bat. Just work your way into it. Start off a little time, work your way up to being able to comfortably carry. Then you'll get to be like me when you're my age, where you can strap a 4-inch full-size python on your hip and not give a shit, open carry. And then if you do throw a shirt over it, you don't care if anybody sees it. So you'll get like that eventually. Just take your time. Don't try to do too much at once and scare yourself out of actually carrying a gun to where you someday might find yourself needing it and not having it. So that's it for us today. How about you out there in YouTube? Do you have anything to add that we didn't talk about? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you want to weigh in on one of these topics in person, come to the live chat. We do them every day at 6 p.m. I am here like clockwork. I think we've missed 2 days in the last several years. And those were when I was on vacation. One was I was in the hospital, and one we were on vacation. So come on in, let your voice be heard, be part of the group, have a good time, and stick around for the open chat afterwards. And also, I want to thank everybody here that weighed in already. I appreciate it, helping make the video possible and helping out the pets and vets a little bit, whatever little money YouTube doesn't steal. I appreciate it. I hope to see all of you back here tomorrow. Same Yank time, same Yank channel. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again. Hey everybody, Yankee here. Before we go, I just want to take a second to remind everyone that this channel is 100% viewer funded. We don't take a penny from advertisers, retailers. We don't take money from political organizations. There's no one telling me what I need to tell you. Everything that we do is done through the generosity of our viewers, either buying merchandise or becoming a patron or a Subscribe Star member. You're all the ones that support Pets and Vets and TYMP. And that's the reason I can stay true to myself and loyal only to the people who watch my channel. And I can spend my time talking about what I want to talk about, telling what I think needs to be said, and giving you my uncensored take on things I think you need to hear. So if you'd like to help keep things that way, please support the channel by becoming a patron, a Subscribe Star supporter, or just going over to my web store and buying some merch. The links are all in the upper corner of this video.